All right, everyone, welcome back. Thank you for being with us. And let's introduce our next speaker. But before I do that, just a quick reminder to use the conference app to rate all the lectures. It helps us to improve and to create better agendas for the next events. All right, our next speaker starts his introductions with the fun fact that he is loud, which is especially problematic on an open space at the office. Jarek would like to use the platform of Code Dive conference to apologize to everyone who has ever been affected by that. Professionally, Jarek has nearly 15 years of experience in IT world, starting from technical support in IT services and culminating in team manager, project lead roles at Nokia. He has led BTS C, C++ development teams, and currently manages a team of Python developers responsible for system backend in cloud solutions. He has served as project lead in troubleshooting, automation, and AI/ML areas, focusing on identifying ideas and solutions with current and future business potential. Outside of work, he enjoys family life and has a keen interest in science, critical thinking, philosophy, and weightlifting. He is also a big fan of the Expanse series and book saga. With the greatly named speech entitled No Code Dive, Low Code Dive, please join me in welcoming to the stage Jarosław Gnitecki.
All right. All right. First, I have to welcome you. So thank you for having me on the Code Dive conference. This is my, let's say, first such a presentation on such a big event. First of all, I have to tell you that I wake up today as a brave man, actually, and there is a few reasons for that, because we are on the Code Dive conference with the main theme back to the roots, back to the C++ roots, which is a sanctuary of programming. I'm no coder, so I'm not a developer, actually, here. And I will be talking to you about how to create software without coding. So I have every reason to fear that I will see something like that. Yeah. Big Lebowski, I recommend this movie if somebody didn't watch it here. But I decided to come because I have at least 3 good reasons to do that. First reason is that, in my opinion, no code, low code will be an important part of the software market in a very near future. Because no code and low code actually can already or will become a very useful tool for a developer work. And because I would like to build a community with you here on this conference, of course, if the audience will be interested and if the conference organizers will be interested to continue, I would like to continue those topics related with the no-code, low-code together on this conference and next years. Okay, but before we will move to the agenda, I will need your help, actually, to perform the BCS test. It will become clear what it is in a moment. And the first step is, can you give me a big applause, please? Louder, please. All right. And now, let's play the sound. Okay, thank you very much for testing backup clapping system. This is my security to make sure that this presentation will be successful here. You know, sponsors are watching. But you were better. You were louder, so I don't need it. So thank you very much for that. I count on your support here. Let's move to the agenda. So what I will be talking about here for you. First, we will see about the idea. So what actually those platforms are about. The second, the design. So how they are designed. Third, the market. So how the market looks like at the moment and potentially in the future. The people, so what is the role of the people in all of this low-code, no-code topic? and we will do the quick look on what was told and look into the future, and the last one, the end, because like every good movie, this one is also have the end. Let's go. About the idea. I decided to use a table to present you what the low-code, no-code is about, to compare the technologies that are used right now, so the traditional software coding and the no-code, low-code, which is, let's say, emerging for already a couple of years. Yeah, so just to explain what you see right now, on the example of the first factor, those arrows are representing the potential negative or positive impact on the software project here, and the colors doesn't have any meaning, they are just for the visibility. This impact might be positive or negative. I will explain more in the context of each factor. So, code writing. Naturally, for no-code solutions, we don't need to write code, right? So in the context of the software project, that may be a positive thing because we are eliminating one of the failure point. Development group is much wider because no-code and low-code platforms are dedicated not only for the professional developers, but also for so-called citizen developers. We will come back to that later. Flexibility and scalability, and here the no-code solutions are operating in some limits, so they are not that flexible as traditional software coding methods. Complexity. There are two meanings of complexity here. First meaning is how hard is to learn those platforms, so the entry level for the people here. And the second meaning is complexity of created applications. And here, entry level for the people are lower, but the complexity of the software projects that are created on those platforms are also moderate to small. And development speed. Development speed for no-code platforms are much faster because we don't require coding. We don't require coding. We don't have all of the process around writing code. Everything is done in the user interface in a graphical way, and we can quickly prototype, test them, and get very fast feedback. And the last, cost, right? Because the software project is shorter here, thanks to the fast prototyping, then the whole cost is lower. This is also related with the fact that we don't need that many skilled coding skilled professionals. Okay, so to sum up this part, we can say that no-code and low-code platforms are environments for creating software without or with little need for coding in a cost-effective way by people that are not professional developers here. And I marked this middle column for the low-code because low-code is joining those two worlds, right? So it's very often chosen by the big companies because it's easier to make this transition here. Okay, and here you have the cloud of various examples of solutions and tools that are on the market here. This cloud is constantly expanding because new solutions are coming in here, and they are touching UI and UX. So there are dedicated platforms to create UI, like Bubble, for example. This is, I think, the biggest one. But we also have a backend and integration side covered by those tools as well. For example, OutSystems or Zapier. Okay, and the quiz. I'm curious if you will know the answer. So here's the question. What is the one of the most popular no-code, low-code application available globally since the 90s and used everywhere for everything? Mr. Obvious, it's saying obvious, right? But yeah, it's Excel. It's Excel. It's Microsoft Excel. For some of you, you may have the feeling, why? What? Excel? I'm using it for years right now. And actually, but if you will think more about it, actually it is a low-code platform because you can create the whole tools based on Excel without a single line of code by using formulas, by recording macros, for example. Many companies, the big ones as well, are creating the whole tool ecosystem based on MS Excel. If it's good or not, I will not comment. Okay. Now, the design. The design. I have created an abstract scheme based on various documentation by the vendors, by the different vendors. So there might be differences. I try to extract the high-level view. Sorry. So we have, of course, on those platforms, integrated development environment. This is just an interface, graphical interface where we can build applications by drag and drop or creating the block flows. Next component is, of course, UA to code. So the component responsible of translating visuals to actual code. The next one is the whole backend, where the business logic is executed, when the databases are managed, and when we have the APIs for integration with other parts of the ecosystem. And we have the deployer compiler, which is responsible for setting up the application on the environment. And nowadays, majority of vendors are using cloud naturally as an infrastructure because it's more reliable, it gives bigger scalability. And there is this one secret component, one ingredient that makes all of those things running here. One secret key. It's the code, right? It's the code. Unexpected here, the same way as Spanish Inquisition in Monty Python sketch here. So it's still there, it doesn't disappear. Okay. Here you can see two examples of this IDE here that can be seen in those tools. One is drag and drop from AnvilWorks example. So as you can see, it's mainly used to create direct user interface, so forms, etc. The second from AppMaster is about creating block flows, right? So to create a business logic. Now a little bit about gaps. Gaps meaning limitations of those solutions here. First is flexibility. This I mentioned. It's about the fact that those platforms are operating in some frames here. Second is vendor lock-in. So the risk that we are getting too much dependent of one vendor. The third is scalability. So the ability to the platform to expand, to handle more traffic, more user traffic, more performance here. And the security, because we have international standard, we have industry standard, we have a custom standard by the companies. So it might be that the platform, because it's limited, cannot handle and cannot fulfill those requirements. And resiliency, so ability of platforms to react on unexpected events, errors, etc. And the possibility to adjust the system so it could handle in the future. But this gap is actually slowly closing. This gap is actually slowly closing comparing to the traditional software. And there are three factors that are influencing that. First is ecosystem. Ecosystem meaning that those platforms have already APIs available, APIs that can be used to integrate with the third-party software or with other no-code, low-code platforms. So in that way, we can build the whole system based only on low-code or no-code platforms that are supplementing the functionalities. Second, the cloud. So this is what I mentioned. The problem of scalability is practically gone with the cloud, right? Because cloud is providing resources here, and we can handle much bigger user traffic. And generative AI, completely new factor, completely unpredictable, that can affect all of those gaps here and help to address them, mainly due to the very advanced automation and the ability to generate content. Okay. Yeah, so inconvenient goose have inconvenient questions. And this is no different for us here. This is a question about generative AI and its place and impact. So let's take a look. Just to refresh the memory about the scheme that I have shown just a moment ago here, and to see how this transition can look like. Yeah. So as you can see, the components change their names here. they are resembling more of personas, so-called personas here. So they are not typical software components. They are like roles that are handled by humans here, right? And this is very characteristic for LLMs here. And this is actually called agents. So those applications are called agents, and agents are containing special instructions for the LLM models that are inferenced on the cloud to operate and to create the whole system here. So LLMs are receiving instructions from the agent and return the desired output. And as you can see, all of the personas are corresponding with the components that I mentioned before, like assistant for UI, coder for changing natural language to the code, integrator responsible for integration in the business logic, and the deployer and builder for application deployment. But guess who's still here? Yeah, the code is still here. It doesn't disappear. It didn't disappear here. It's still with us. Okay, let's take a look on the live examples right now. First example is an application created in Nokia called My Growth Portal. It is an application used for the assistance, for the career planning assistance for our employees here, and it was developed by using no-code and low-code platforms. As you can see, the challenge was to gather all of the data that we have about the employee, put it into the HRDB, feed the My Growth Portal, and create the user profile that can be accessed by each of the employees. And what tools were used? First platform is KNIME platform, KNIME Data Analytics. This is a low-code platform responsible here for building flows that were defining how the data should be handled and the whole data flow here. Oh, sorry, I need to go back. The second set of tools, those are Microsoft Power BI, Power Automate, and Power Apps, and they were actually used to create interface and also to integrate the application components. Okay, and here we have Mr. Simply that is looking on this design and say it's simple, nothing difficult here, but not quite. And this is just the fragment from the whole scheme here. So it's not that simple, as you can see, and it requires also some deeper understanding what we want to do here and how to do it. Okay, let's take a look on My Growth Portal from the perspective of the factors that we have mentioned before here. So as you can see, this is a mix of no-code and low-code characteristics. Development speed and cost are rather more towards no-code, but the rest is rather of the low-code nature. The second example is the big enterprise digital transformation done in Toyota company, and it's still ongoing already for 10 years here. And Toyota chosen the OutSystems for their partner in this effort. This is a standard view on the OutSystem platform design. In Service Studio, Integration Studio are user interfaces. We have the core here, so platform service, and we have all of the additional services providing advanced automation. And for the Toyota transformation, this match looks a little bit different. And there is one thing that is worth to be noticed here: flexibility and scale. For OutSystem in Toyota, the flexibility and scale that was achieved is on par with the traditional software coding. So there were no limitations to how OutSystem was applied here. So as you can see by the stats here. All right. And here are some statements from the Toyota management here. So they are very happy with the OutSystem cooperation, and they see the benefits that are coming from the low-code platform here. The market. So how the market look like? This is This is a current situation, assessed situation, based on various sources, mainly Gartner and Forrester reports. As you can see, the whole software market value is around $1 trillion here. So a big dot here, and low-code and no-code in the middle, it's around $32 billion. But what are the predictions? The prediction is that in 10 years, this market, the whole market will grow 50%, but low-code, no-code will grow 600%. So this is still a small portion, but you need to look on the dynamics. It's huge, right? So it can be even bigger. There are some assessments that it can become even bigger. What about the application share here? Currently, it is assessed that around 30% of all applications that are going to the market are created on the low-code and no-code platforms. What are the predictions? That this amount will grow in 10 years to 70% of all delivered applications that will be coming from low-code, no-code platforms. Yeah, and there's Mr. Nothing that claims there is no big money on this market. You cannot earn big money. No way. Not quite. That's not true. And the example of the flexible portal, this is portal for the freelancers here, as you can see on the stats, is doing very well. Just to say that in first year or 2 years of operating, the profit, the income was on the level of $3 billion. And the company was created by three people, and all of them was no coders. So it is possible. The people. There are two groups here that is worth to point. First are the software developers, right? Software engineers educated that are writing the code. The second group are the new one that is emerging, is citizen developers. So this is a group of people that are able to create applications on no-code, low-code platforms, but they are not professional coders. They may not even technical people. But both of those groups can benefit actually from usage of low-code and no-code platforms here, and I just name 4 such aspects, like fast prototyping, right? So you can quickly verify your assumptions, automation, you can create predefined code blocks that can be reused later, integration, predefined APIs that can also be easily reused. And testing, I mentioned before, fast feedback loop. And all of those elements are consisting actually on faster software delivery. And both of those groups actually can cooperate to deliver the same product, right? We can have in the team the professional software developers, but also citizen developers as well, and they can both deliver value. Yeah, some might have asked controversial question. If we have the people that can create applications without coding, then why do we need professional coders at all in the future? I don't agree with this statement and with this question. I will explain in the end. And some stats about the job market. Currently, it is assessed that around 50% of the software developers are used at least once or using no-code, low-code platform for the software development, and we have growing citizen developers group, but still as a minority. What are the predictions? It is expected or assessed that in 10 years, the group of citizen developers will grow 4-1 comparing to the traditional software coding here, and the percentage of the traditional software coders that are using those platforms will grow to 70%. So also quite a big dynamic. Yeah, and there is one idea about redefining the software developer definition here. So to move from the technology, so actually from the language that the developer is using, Python, C++, C, or any other, more to the functional area, actually. And those functional areas are translated to the elements of the no-code, low-code platform. So we have core developer that is handling integration deployment. We have design developer that is handling UI and UX. And we have business developer that is handling logic and flows. So no more focus on language, more on the function here. And all of that is delivering the application to the end user. Okay, FOMO, fear of missing out. A new syndrome recognized mainly among the young people that it manifests itself in the fear of missing some important, we think this is important, but important social event here. When I was listening to the podcasts about no-code and low-code platforms that were hosted by the software developers, I have the feeling that they are trivializing this, right? It was like, those solutions are nice. We can create software there. But you know, Leonardo da Vinci was also building machines, but everybody knows they don't work, right? So kind of trivializing is very often showing us that we are fear something, right? That we are afraid of something that we not entirely understand. And I reused this FOMO syndrome and created a new one. Fear of missing code. And fear of missing code can be defined as a syndrome which manifests itself in the abstract fear of missing code or coding in the apps created on low-code or no-code platforms, on top that they are threatening the very existence of the affected software engineer. All of this, despite code, is still there. And our character code agree with that. Okay. And now, you will help me to fight with this fear. I need 4 volunteers on the stage. So don't hesitate, and please join me. I don't bite. Come on. Don't worry. I won't hurt anyone. Okay. First person, at least 2 ones. Okay. Grab the paper here. Another one. Okay. Anybody else want to join? It will be fun, I promise. Come on. Big applause for my son here. All right. Okay. Please stand here, maybe. Join me here. Okay. Show this to everyone. Now, when we are trying to fight the fear, in English we are saying that we are breaking the fear. So I want the whole room shout out, break the fear. Come on. Come on. Shout out. Shout out, please. Louder. Okay, and now everybody on the stage. We are breaking the fear here. But do not drop it. Do not drop it. Okay? We break it, but it's still a burden for us. So we need to get rid of it. So shout out, let it go. Let it go. Louder. Let it go. Okay, everybody on the stage, we are letting go. Yes. Big applause for my assistants here. And for you for helping me with this. Very good. Great. So our minds are clear, so we can look into the future. We can look into the future, we can sum up what the future may come. The developer role will stay with us for sure. Maybe it will have to be redefined, as I mentioned, but it will be with us. Mainly because the skills of the developer is not only about writing code. This is creativity, this is abstract thinking, and many other things. Sometimes sarcasm when you will add coffee, right? Market will grow, definitely will grow, will expand here, and will create new business opportunity. Community. As I have shown you, community that will grow and will bring more people that are not that familiar with the programming, right? Because they will learn that they can create software as well. AI era. As I mentioned, unpredictable factor here that can modify low-code and no-code platforms. Actually, it may converge completely with the low-code, no-code platform, especially generative AI. And space, something I didn't mention yet, but I want to stick on it for a moment here. Last year on this conference, we were taken to the orbit and to the moon here. And I would like to refer to that moment, because I'm strongly convinced that solutions that are allowing us to change the software and develop will be critical for the space expansion here. Because in the space environment where everything is practically not predictable, when we can encounter problems that we need to deal with very fast, we will not have time for traditional software coding. We will have to react fast and reliably. And to give you a little bit nudge of imagination right now, how people can work with the computers, work with the software in the space, I would like to use the clip from my favorite sci-fi series, The Expanse, here. Just to give you a little bit context. Alex Kamal, the pilot of the warship frigate Rocinante, is hidden behind one of the Jupiter moons and trying to think how to land on Ganymede moon when the rest of the crew stuck here. But the problem is that the Martian fleet has blocked the access to the Ganymede, and Alex is thinking about the solution. Okay, so I invite you to the movie. Coś się nie wyświetla. Small technical problems. Okay.
Oh, man. Looks like a freaking hornet's nest. That's of no use to me. All right, sweetheart, show me the MCR in no-fly zone. All right, so no one goes in and no one comes out. I bet the guys don't even know they're stranded down there. Okay, girl, I got it, you're right. Can't risk the broadcast gonna give up our location, but god damn it, we gotta get a message down to them somehow. Oh, for love of Pete, I hate that thing.
This is an MCRN priority alert to all vessels in the Jupiter AO. Incoming MCRN Delta 2735, the Caracou, is cleared to dock on Ganymede Station. Under no circumstances are the ship's operations to be interfered with. All ships, please acknowledge. This is an MCRN priority alert.
Well. What the hell makes you so gosh darn special? Can you show me the Caracoom's flight plan? That's a whole lot of cryptid. What's their landing pattern? Where the hell are they gonna dock? Way the hell out in the middle of nowhere. It smells like Black Ops to me. What do you think? You agree? You're right. They're probably here for the exact same reason we are. Shit, that means I gotta get down there before they do. If I let up the engine, may as well put a big frickin' bullseye on my back. Clumsy idiot. Go wider. Wider. I said wider. Show me the whole goddamn system. Okay. Now, where are we exactly? All right. Now, show me the orbital paths of all the Jovian moons. That's a lot. Okay. Time lapse times 10. Plot a gravity assist trajectory down to Ganymede. No engine, just thrusters. Right. Well, no one said it was going to be easy. All right, darling. Saddle up. Slingshot time.
how the future actually may look like, and it's quite exciting here. I recommend to watch how the slingshot flight ended and the whole series. Okay, we are at the end. So the closing words. There was one forgotten philosopher. Somebody claimed that he didn't exist. But let's assume he exists for now, okay? Let's assume he exists. This was the younger brother of Cartesius. His name was Codesius. Codesius was the fan of reuse. So he decided to reuse the saying of his older brother, and he said, Codito ergo sum. I code, therefore I am. But is it really so? Is it really that true? I think it's not. I think that emerging of low-code, no-code technologies, the era of AI, will prove something completely different. It will prove that the code is just a final act of creation, and what it really counts is the idea in the developer's mind. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. Any questions to Jarosław? Anyone? Yes, we have one.
A kind of comment embedded in a question, don't you think? Don't you think there will be just division between excellent coders and average or low skills coders? And this excellence will remain because someone needs to improve the code which was somewhat wrong written by the machine, and then there is someone that needs to dive in and correct it. That's point one. And point two is, of course, we will need coders for artificial intelligence. We will need some people who understand the maths behind.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's hard to predict what will happen, right? Here. We can try to predict short, long, and short, mid, and long term, right? And I definitely agree that it will be very hard to reach the state that there will be no need for any, in a traditional meaning, any developer. Somebody will have to be, let's say, on the backstage here, taking care at the end for this code, because there will be, I can imagine there will be always a situation that the automation will fail, right? Here. So I fully agree. And as you mentioned, somebody needs to create artificial intelligence, unless we will reach the state where the artificial intelligence will be able to modify itself, right, and fix it.
So we are going to something like breaking the Gaussian curve to two curves. Yes, which is kind of anomaly in the world. Typically, we have Gaussian curves, so there is low, medium, high, and now we are going to break to two, because there will be no room for medium.
Well, there are more distributions in the nature than only a standard one, right? We have skewed distribution, etc. So let's say the reality and the nature brings to us example that we didn't even expect. And we are right now in the moment, especially because of the generative AI revolution, that we really don't know in which way it will go. It may happen that generative AI will become just another, just an addition to the toolset, right? Nothing more will happen. But the other way may be that the generative AI will cause that many of the, let's say, many of the skills that are right now are on the market will just be automated, right here. It's hard to predict at the moment.
Thank you for that question. Anyone else? Yes, we have one there. I'll walk. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, my question is, what, in your opinion, will be the entry level for the low code or the no code for the people? Or it will reach to this level that, I don't know, in the kindergarten kids can create the application just using the puzzle? Or it will be any entry level for the, let's say, people get some educations there?
I will answer in 2 points. One point is what is happening right now. So right now, indeed, people that are not programmers can easily get into those platforms, right? And start creating application, right? Of course, those applications are rather simple to moderate, right? But as I show you on the example of Toyota here, those may be also a complex systems created with multiple elements by multiple people, professional coders, but also citizen developers. So this entry level right now, for the people that are not familiar with coding, is, I would say, low, right? Because learning those platforms, like Bubble, for example, is really not that complicated, right? So if you have a profession, completely different profession, not technical, you're still able to learn it, right? So this is the current situation. In the future, here, I can imagine the situation, and actually this is slowly happening, that we will be able, even with the voice interface, right? We will be able, at our homes here, to create actually software, right? With the voice instructions. I don't know, let's assume that we need some solutions that will plan our day, activity of our day, right? Based on our habits, etc. So I can imagine that through the voice interface, we will be able to tell the computer what he needs to do, and the computer underneath will actually create an app, right? So we will not be even aware about that, right? But let's say that this is a long term.
All right, great, thank you. Any more questions?
What is the best way to start?
Sorry? Okay. What is the best way to start? I recommend you to seek through the internet, right here. Those platforms like Bubble, like OutSystems, many others have really user-friendly documentation that are also explaining what no-code and low-code is about, actually, right here. So just go there and experiment, right? This is the best way to learn here, how those platforms can be used, right? If you have some idea, for example, for an app, right, you would like to try, just go there and try it.
Thank you.
You can even those of you who in your companies you have access, for example, to Power Automated or Power Tools or Power BI. This is something also to be tried, right? For example, in Nokia right now, I see that trend that many applications are already created through the Power Apps, for example, and Power Automate, right? I can give you the last example. Nokia is for medical services is served by LuxMed, and usually we had to employee who wants to register to have those services had to fill out the papers, go to the HR, etc. This is not reality anymore because there was an application exactly in Power Apps created for that purpose, and it was created really fast, right here. So this is just one of examples of this, let's say, silent transformation that is actually already ongoing here.
All right. Yes.
I have a question about like security features of that low-code, no-code solutions, because I don't believe that some, for example, banking software would be developed like that, because from experience I know that banking software is so strict, and like banking companies want to know what the code looks like, and they want to have exactly their own code to maintain, you know, so they don't want to give the maintenance of the code to the, for example, other companies.
Yeah, security is definitely an area when no-code, low-code introduction will be a problem, because as you said, there are different requirements for different industry. But actually in banking or in finance is one of the area where low-code and no-code is actually very well, is expanding, right? Mm-hmm. But rather regarding interaction with the customer, right? Okay. Here. With the customer or internally for processes that are not, let's say, where there are not that strict requirements regarding security, right? Okay. But as I mentioned, I would expect that we will see some kind of low-code, no-code solution, rather low-code, that are specializing in security, right? Mm-hmm. And through APIs can be connected with other parts of the ecosystem, right? I personally didn't find such an example.
Okay, maybe in the future.
Yeah, maybe in the future.
Yeah, I can see another question.
Hello. So I wanted to ask about, for your case in Nokia, for the application that were created by the no-code, low-code platforms, how do you manage changes for those applications?
I'm not sure what do you mean by managing
So
changes.
if new requirements come in, for instance, security or...
So far, all of the requirements that were coming to the project, requests, fixes, new features, were easily implemented in the same way. So by using low-code, no-code. So.
Yeah, but some code version, controlling version or versioning tools are used for that, or how do you manage that change?
Okay, I don't know the details. I have to admit that I don't know how it is exactly handled in the project here, but definitely versioning is there, right here. But it may look differently than for the traditional software coding, right here. I mean, releasing cycle is faster because the changes can be introduced really quickly.
Okay, so I have one more to that. Do you have some reviews for the changes that are introduced? And who is doing that?
I don't have answer for this question as well. So, but I cannot imagine, despite no-code, low-code, that something is going through without verification, how it works actually, right? So this review process, I think it's still in place, definitely, right? But it looks differently, right? Because we are introducing changes via the interface graphically, and we're just doing an immediate test, right? For example.
Yeah. So thanks. I can imagine that those are very detailed questions. Thanks.
I would like say one thing more. Okay. So I would like to thank one person that made this presentation possible. I would like to thank my wife Karolina, who is on the here on the during the audience. So it wouldn't happen without her patience, without understanding and help. So thank you very much.
And thank you, Jarosław. Thank you, Karolina. Thank you for your questions.